Hello and welcome to this new lesson on customizing the Service Desk application in PowerApps, where we will see how to customize the Excel sheet, that is, our source and the data. Before entering the Excel sheet and modifying what is possible to change in the drop-down menus, therefore to further customize our application, we will perform a few operations. First of all, we will rename our two applications in the sense that we will also create versions in other languages, and therefore, to each, we will add in its name the language in which it is compiled. Next, we enter the first version of the application for the tablet and iPad. We position ourselves on the three dots, click, choose the modified option, and enter the PowerApps Studio editing environment. In this case, simply to change the name of the application, therefore without performing any other type of operation. We are therefore waiting for a moment for the PowerApps Studio environment to open. Here it is. Let's click on Skip. Let's go here into the settings, and in the application name, let's write that this is the English version. English version. Save. At this stage, he tells me that the changes have been saved but not published. For more security, let's save. And so here we have completed this first step for the first version of the application. So let's go back to Open PowerApps from here. Go back and open the version for the smartphone and the iPhone. Three modified points. We also enter in this case into PowerApps Studio and also for the smartphone and iPhone version. We will say that in this case it is the English version. So here too we will only modify this aspect. We click on Ignore. We also click in this case on Settings. We click on the pencil as before, English, and save. We have saved. Let's also save here. File, Save. And so at this stage, we have renamed our applications. As you can notice, the applications have been correctly renamed according to the operations we just performed. And now we are going to duplicate them, in the sense that we will make a copy of the iPhone smartphone version as well as the iPad tablet version. And we will write next to it in Italian, in the sense that we are going to perform a whole series of operations to customize the application in Italian, and which will be valid to customize the application in any other language. First of all, let's make a copy of the iPhone smartphone version. Then we position ourselves on the three dots, click, choose Edit, and enter, as usual, into the development environment, therefore into the PowerApps Studio environment. And in this case, we will simply click on File, then Save As, to save a copy of this version of the application. Then we will translate the interface into Italian. Obviously, the same procedure will apply for the application in any other language. Here we click on Ignore, and then we click on File, Save As. Here, it warns us that an application with this name already exists. And we here will write Italian and click on Save. The save operations have started. From PowerApps, which at this stage has saved a copy of the smartphone iPhone version. We return to the list of our applications, and now we will create a copy of the tablet iPad version. So we position ourselves as before here on the points. Let's click on Edit. Let's wait for the application to open in the PowerApps Studio environment. And now we will simply do Save As to create a copy of this tablet iPad version. So let's wait a moment for it to open. As soon as it is open, there we go, we will click on Ignore, also in this case. And here we will write File, Save As, and we write Italian. And so PowerApps has also created the duplicated version of this second tablet iPad version. At this point, we need to enter our OneDrive for Business and take our Excel file, which is the data source for the applications. So we click on OneDrive, we leave PowerApps for the moment, we enter the PowerApps folder, Models, and here we have our data source. So a single folder, because we had deleted the other one. And then we had also connected the smartphone iPhone version to this same data source, so to this same data XLSX file. So to this Excel file, which precisely constitutes our data source. Let's go back and also fix this thing, in the sense that PowerApps Office 365 automatically generated this long string. Let's rename this folder in a more orderly manner. And so here to write, let's rename, and we write that this is the source of the Service Desk application. In English renamed, it is missing the H. Renamed, and so this is the source of the application in English. We create another folder, which will then be the source of the Italian version of the application. And where we will therefore make changes in the drop-down menus to facilitate the insertion of data in our language. So here we're going to say copy where in our OneDrive in the PowerApps folder in Models, and at this stage we write copy here. It has created a copy for us, which we will now rename to Italian and also the source. The version of the application in Italian has been created. Now, one thing to do is to reconnect the versions of the application, whether smartphone, iPhone, or tablet, iPad, to this new folder name in English because the chain that had been created automatically has been modified, the folder has been renamed, and therefore the application no longer finds the data. We must therefore go and reassociate the two versions of the application, both smartphone, iPhone, and tablet, iPad, to the name of this new folder. We therefore return to PowerApps to properly connect all four versions of the application, two in English in the folder. Service Desk and Score English, and two in the folder in Italian, Service Desk and Score Italian. So we click on the dots. We return to PowerApps. Once the PowerApps screen is open, we click on Apps to return to the list of our applications, inside which we will now perform these operations. I would like to point out that at any time, you can change the name of the application without it affecting its proper functioning. So let's start with the two applications in English that will fetch from the file. Excel data, both inside the folder, which is no longer called by this long string because we have renamed it, but now it is called Service Desk. Final score in English. So let's start with the iPhone smartphone version. Let's click on the points, modify, enter our PowerApps Studio environment, and once inside, we will first click on Skip and make the modifications. As you can see, it immediately becomes apparent that the application is full of errors, in the sense that, not only in this screen, but in all the others, it results in the fields no longer having a given origin, so they no longer have a reference point. And thus it signals an error in all the fields. So we'll click on Show Data Source, and here too, it immediately becomes apparent. There are no longer all the Excel tables, each corresponding to a sheet that existed before, with the blue icons because the folder has been renamed and the links have been broken. So we click on Add Data Source, go inside OneDrive for Business, PowerApps folder, Model folder, and now choose the Service Desk and Score English folder. Click on the Excel file icon and select all the original tables, original data sources. Once all are selected, we will click on Connect, and as it updates, the errors will disappear. There you go. Everything has been updated. We can click on Close, and then click on File, Save the application, and we see that now we also have the option to publish it. Let's publish it. Publish this version. What does it mean? Publishing a version means publishing the application with the changes we made with the last save. Because if tomorrow we make other changes, we will make a new save. We will publish the new version. It will allow us to keep the previous version so that, for example, if we made mistakes, we could recover it at that point, assuming that our application had been saved in its final version. We could also share it by clicking here on the Share button with other users in our group and our Office 365 organization to ensure that company employees can use it. So here, we will type, for example, the initials of a person's first or last name. And we will click on the displayed name of this person as identified within Office 365. At this stage, we have added Cristina Bianchi, Sales Director for Italy, to this application, meaning as a user of this application. Obviously, Cristina Bianchi will have received an email message with the corresponding link to connect to the application. For the moment, we are deleting the user, we finish here, and we go back to repeat the operation we just performed for the others. Version. So we enter the English version for the tablet iPad format. So point modified, and let's quickly make the correct connection. So even in this case, we will have to connect it. In the given file, inside the Service Desk and English Score folder, thus displayed data source also here. There is no longer any data source. Add OneDrive for Business PowerApps Model Data Source. Service Desk and English Score. Let's click on the Excel file, and we will check all the data source tables, then click on Connect. In this case as well, the errors will disappear. Close the saved file, and publish this version. Let's go back. Now we need to Connect the two Italian versions to the given file, but inside another folder. Because then it is inside this folder that, in this Excel file, we will make the customizations of the drop-down menus that we will see in the two Italian versions of the application. So let's start with the version. Smartphone, iPhone, modified tip, we enter again. In the PowerApps Studio development environment, as soon as it opens, we click on Skip and close the mask. And in this case, too. We will choose Show Data Source, add a OneDrive for Business data source, improvement folder. Model folder this time. However, we will choose Italian Service Desk. Click on the Excel icon. We will put check all the boxes on all the tables and click Connect. Even in this case, the errors will disappear. Close. Files saved, publish this version. We are missing. The last one, let's go back. So the Italian version for the iPad tablet format, modified ellipsis. We adjust to the PowerApps Studio environment and perform this operation for the last time. We wait for it to open, we click on Ignore, we come back here and Show Data Source. Add a OneDrive for Business data source, PowerApps folder, Template folder, Service Desk folder, and Italian score. Excel icon, and we will check all the data source tables and click on Connect. We wait for the loading of the data source to be completed. Load error disappeared, files saved. And publish this version. Let's return to the list of applications, and at this stage, we need to do the last step, which is the customization of what is customizable inside the Excel file, inside the folder. Service Desk and Italian score, to ensure that the application can be more easily used in Italian by putting the options in our language in the drop-down menus, or in another language that you would like to use to make the application more comfortable. So we need to go back to a drive for business matters. Power Application, Model, we enter the Service Desk and Italian score folder and we open the Excel file that we had already seen before. Now we're going to review it. Here we have the table, ticket, where all the data we have entered is located. Then afterwards, we will delete them to perform data insertion tests. Here there are the types. The ticket, it's a part that should not be modified because to this part, to this Excel table, are linked afterwards scripts, codes within the programming of this application. Obviously, we could modify this as well, but because we said this is not a course, on the PowerApps code, we will not do it either. Because here we find all the names that are comfortably readable by anyone, anywhere in the world in English. These are also part of the programming of this. However, we can correct it, so the current ticket on In corso in attesa. and close the closed ticket. So here, Excel Online enters the OneDrive backup. Automatically, let's go to the ticket priority. Here, we could write in our low language. Medium high, here we have the names of those who will have to take care of the ticket. And so here we could put our names, Mario, Carla, Giovanni, Riccardo. Cinzia Roberto is here. We could continue. We will obviously find them in the application among the options in the drop-down menu for data entry. Elisa Giuseppe, the same here regarding. On the contrary, the intervention areas, which could be an intervention area of the city if the application was used for a quick repair intervention. Of breakdowns, that could be the tables of a restaurant if the application was used inside a restaurant. And here, perhaps let's say that our city is divided into 3 parts, Rome North, assuming it is an emergency repair intervention breakdown, Rome North, Rome South. Rome East and Rome West. At this stage, we can close the file of Excel because it has been automatically saved in OneDrive by Office. 365 new. Let's close it. And so here now, we have made all the changes when we are going to open the Italian application to modify the interface wherever possible. To modify it without disrupting the programming. We will see that now the application, both versions of the application in Italian smartphone iPhone and tablet iPad, will draw from this data file folder in this folder. So in the drop-down menus for data entry, we will find these customizations that we have just made to the application.